Program funding for the Organic Odyssey was provided by the California Certified Organic Farmers Foundation, as well as the Transition to Organic Partnership Program. Visit their web pages or social media for all their amazing content and guidance on everything organic. Support for the Organic Odyssey is provided in part by the Grimm Family Center for Organic Production and Research at Cal Poly. For more information or to support the center, please visit organic.calpoly.edu. That's organic.calpoly.edu for the Grimm Family Center for Organic Production and Research at Cal Poly. Support for the Organic Odyssey is provided in part by AgCom Central. Visit AgCom Central on twitch.tv or youtube.com for all content ag-related. That's AgCom Central on twitch.tv or youtube.com for AgCom Central.
Hello everyone, my name is Emery Pura and I'm here with my co-host Amanda Kidd. Welcome to the Organic Odyssey, journeying through sustainable farming with Cal Poly. Welcome to the first episode of Season 2. We are joined by an incredible panel today, and if they would like to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Emery. My name is Dr. Matt Grieshop. I am the director of the Grimm Family Center for Organic Production and Research.
My name is Moe Lee, and I work currently on the organic farm. I recently graduated this past winter with a degree in environmental management and protection and a minor in sustainable agriculture, and now currently still working.
Awesome. My name is Mary Nascimento. I'm a fourth-year agricultural communication major with a minor in ag business. I've been working at the organic farm for 2 years, and I've been working at the Organic Center doing their social media as a social media manager for 9 months yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's great to meet all of you guys. So the first question, can you remind us, what is the Grimm Family Center for Organic Production and Research?
Thank you. So the Grimm Organic Center is a private-public partnership. The private aspect of that was really came from the Grimm family. The Grimm family, until recently, owned Grimmway Farms. Grimmway Farms runs Cal Organic, which is the largest producer of organic vegetables in California. And so the family, when they sold their business, they decided that they wanted to give back to the organic community. They chose Cal Poly because of our incredible industry connections and the reputation of our students. And so the mission they gave us was really to produce applied research that could be used very quickly to promote organic agriculture, and then also to train future organic leaders for the California organic industry.
It's really great that we have such great donors here at Cal Poly. So how do you guys feel the Grimm Organic Center has benefited your student education?
They just started kind of making projects a real thing that is on the farm this past quarter. But I think it's been great to get to interact with like more of the grad students and people doing research. And they've recruited a lot of people that were working on the farm for their research projects to get them kind of introduced to what research is like and kind of that higher ed application of the stuff we do on the day-to-day.
Yeah, absolutely. So I, as an ag comms major, it was really great to kind of partner with Dr. Grieshop and get the social media for the Organic Center up and running, and then start the LinkedIn and, work on the website, kind of develop it into more of a user-friendly kind of, place to learn more about the Organic Center and farming at Cal Poly. It's been huge for my career goals. It's kind of set me in the direction, to understand what I want to do when I graduate. And it's been really great just to get that hands-on work experience, both on the farm and as the social media manager.
Yeah, that's great that you got to work there and realize what you want to do, and it helped you with that path. That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's very cool. You kind of touched on the Organic Center mission, but we were wondering, what is the history of the Organic Center? And if all three you kind of want to touch on that, how it came about, when it came about, etc.
Yeah. So the initial donation agreement came about in 2021. I was recruited in late 2020 late 2021, and I began in late January of 2022. And so when I arrived, I was really the only employee of the Organic Center, and so everything from that point on has been built up. So over that time period, we've recruited an organic farm manager, who's actually recently been promoted into plant scientist manager. So we're recruiting another organic farm manager. Thankfully, Kelly O'Neill, who unfortunately couldn't join us today, he is that person and has a deep history in organics, which has been wonderful. I've been building relationships with faculty. So Dr. Moses Mike, who is running this class, has been a really important member of our community. Dr. Shunping Ding, who's our plant pathologist. We've been doing a lot of grant writing together, getting a lot of projects off the ground, looking at organic pest management. And then Dr. Charlotte DeCock has been another really important member of our community. She does soil fertility management. And then, of course, we've been hiring technicians, a lot of undergraduate students. This year, we've been bringing on graduate students, as Moe mentioned. And so, we're really just starting to really accelerate and get going this year.
Very, very nice. That's super cool to hear how students are involved and how this project has evolved over the past couple years.
Would you guys like to touch on any of that?
I mean, it's been really great to just see kind of the evolution of the farm when the center kind of became more active with the research projects and things like that. Just seeing the students and even Dr. Grieshop just out on the farm with the farm crew, kind of working hand in hand has been really great. And I think the more people who are getting hands-on experience, the better, because it's really important to understand the food system. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, learn by doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Polly's motto. So I just learned today that there was already an organic farm previous to the center. So how has the addition of the Grimm Organic Center added to the already established organic farm at Cal Poly?
Yeah, I think that, if you don't mind.
No, please. Y'all been here longer than me.
Yeah, it's been really great, but it's also, but it has offered like a lot more structure, I think, in how we go about everything, because Matt brought on Kelly O'Neill, who's our new farm manager, and I love working with him, and I think he's doing a great job. Prior to him having the position, there was another farm manager who wasn't really supposed to have that position, and came from a conventional background, and the way that he managed the farm was more as a conventional farm, and Mary might be able to speak more on this, but even before that, it was pretty hectic and chaotic, and now it's more directed, like we have a purpose and a mission, and we want it to be more resemblant of what a true organic production would look like when you go somewhere else and want to work in the industry, But yeah, it's been great so far.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely been just more of the research on. Before we had some research projects that professors would bring to the farm, but now it's a lot more with the sustainable agriculture project or regenerative agriculture project with the intercropping and things like that. Which is a huge project, and we've got plants in the ground now, which is exciting. So a lot of things are happening, and it's just really exciting to see things happen before your eyes. Yeah.
I think that also something that surprises me is when people would come to the organic farm and do their research prior to the Grimm Organic Center being like really up and going, it always felt very disconnected. Like the farm crew was the people implementing the projects, and then some unknown crew would come out and do all of the research, and you would never interact with them. But now there's kind of this mutual association between everybody, and it creates a sense of community, which I think is part of why this is so exciting, is because we're actually getting to make connections and get to know people that are involved in every aspect of farming, from the social media aspect of it to the research and the in the ground planting and weeding and all of that stuff, which I'm probably more familiar with. But yeah.
Yeah, so both of you guys mentioned like various research projects you guys have been working on. What are some current projects you guys are working on, and what would a day-to-day look like for all three of you?
So I could speak towards some of the research, and then maybe Moe and Mary, you can talk more to the day-to-day production and marketing that's so important to the farm. So we've got a really ambitious, I think it's safe to say it's the most ambitious research project that the farm has seen in its history. And again, the farm's been around for about 20 years. So we've been working with Braga Fresh and a variety of other organic producers in the state. Braga Fresh has developed this really interesting planting style where they incorporate cover crops into an 80-inch vegetable bed. So you've got a cereal cover crop running down the middle of the bed. You have a transplanted vegetable, so say a cabbage, lettuce, broccoli alongside that, and then clover planted in the furrow on either edge of that bed. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why this is an interesting thing to do from a soil health standpoint, from a water infiltration standpoint, from a sustainability standpoint in general. By incorporating these practices in, it means that you don't knock your beds down between every rotation. In our production systems, we might do anywhere from 3 to 5 rotations per year, so that really limits the amount of tillage that happens, which also means there's less tractor time, which means less diesel, which means less fossil fuels, which means better climate smart practices. So we've really been working with them, and we've got a large replicated trial that we're in the middle of establishing. We'll be evaluating this sort of under the academic microscope, looking at yield, pest density, nitrogen cycling, carbon cycling, as well as plant health. And we'll be comparing that to, our traditional Central Coast organic vegetable production systems, as well as a couple of variations. So that one's been a lot of fun. One of the other things that we've really brought up is like Dr. Shunping Ding, our plant pathologist, has been doing biofungicide research for a number of years, but we've really been able to help sort of, I think as Moe mentioned, sort of integrate that more into the day-to-day operations of the farm. Something that's really important, me from a philosophical standpoint with the center is I want to keep students at the center of just about everything we do. It's really important to me that any kind of research we do is also providing, an educational outcome for our future leaders. And so by sort of helping work with the production side of the farm and the research side of the farm, we're able to give students kind of this opportunity to cross-train a little bit. So if you're on the production side, sometimes, for example, we had a student last year who went to Fresno with Dr. Ding to do a powdery mildew evaluation on grapes. It was something he was interested in, and she really needed help, and we were able to do that. Flip side, like I was out there weeding a really weedy beet field, and along with other students, because we needed a lot, like agriculture. I've farmed. You have those moments where, holy moly, I have 80 hours of work and there's one of me. and it needs to be done in 2 days. So, many hands make light work. And, again, for me, it's really important for students, even if they don't ever intend to be a producer, it's really important they understand the hard work and the logistics that go into production so that they can do better research. And so providing that cross-training, I think, has been really important. And I'm going to pass it off now because I'm doing my recovering professor thing.
Yeah, is that, I just had a question about the Braga project. Is that cover cropping the new method happening here right now?
So it really, Braga Fresh, I think, is the only producer who's really been trialing this, although I know Earthbound Farms, which is a subsidiary of Taylor, they're starting to look at some interesting cover crop evaluations. For us, what we're really trying to do is put these practices under careful scrutiny so that we can provide our, industry partners with better information on, here's what might work for you, here's what might not work for you. So I would say, no, this is definitely sort of bleeding edge regenerative organic approach towards vegetable production. We expect, especially with our first go around, we expect kind of a fabulous disaster probably, but that's really, how you learn is you make mistakes and you come back to it and modify it and work with it. The really important thing that we're able to do on the farm, because we don't fund the farm purely from produce income, we can take risks that an industry partner can't. So for example, one of the treatments we have is we're going to do this but with no vegetable beds, which is kind of like heresy in the Central Coast vegetable producing community. Everything's done on 40 or 80 inch raised beds. We're going to try this with no beds, which again would reduce the number of tractor passes you need, and it's something we can do. If it fails horribly, no one's going out of business, and we just learn a lot from it, and maybe that information can help our industry partners do a better job.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that will help soil health and everything.
Yeah, we're super excited.
Yeah.
It's a long-term project. We'll be running it for at least 3 years.
Yeah.
We've gotten grant funding for at least 3 years of
That's awesome.
work.
You two want to touch on anything?
What was the original question? Sorry.
It was just what projects you guys are working on, maybe like your guys' day-to-day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, the day-to-day production would be great.
So day to day, we do production, like tractor work and weeding and transplanting, things like that. But what we do a lot of, and what we've been doing a lot of recently, is harvesting and washing and packing produce just for markets and for orders and things like that. That takes up a large part of our time. We do a lot of we do everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
like genuinely everything from
seeding in the greenhouse, which we haven't done a lot of recently, but because there's greenhouse construction, yeah. But even Moe and I, one time we got to take a trip to Arroyo Grande and seed trays and then watch the whole process at a production transplant facility where they produce transplants.
Greenheart Farms let us
yeah.
go and bring our own seeds to put in their
really
trays,
cool.
and then they grew them for us basically in their greenhouses because they have a much larger production, and they were also like great and kind and helpful. And then we went back and picked them up when they were ready to be put in the ground, and but
we do everything, yeah, and it's so fun and it's great experience, but yeah.
And by everything, I mean, you mean the marketing too.
The marketing as
right?
well.
So what?
So to get into that a little bit, I've run markets and U-Picks and for probably a better part of a year now. I go to every Saturday to the Madonna Market. There's another student that does downtown markets, and when we do that during the quarters, it's fun because the enterprise students who are in classes just doing basically volunteer time on the farm get to go with us, and they learn what the market is all about and how it's run, and they get to interact with the community and see how much our produce and our presence at these markets is really beneficial, and people really want to see us there and enjoy what we do and what we sell. Like, I don't think there's a single week that somebody doesn't come up and say, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here, because we do sell so much organic produce, and it's pretty amazing how much this community in particular is driven by that aspect, and they really do care about the quality of their food, and they show up every morning 8 a.m. with their baskets, like they are ready to go. It's pretty amazing. And then this quarter recently I started doing the deliveries for our wholesale orders, which has been a lot of our time consuming, just packing and harvesting all like 1,000-pound order for something. And so just this past Thursday we went to the Paso Robles school district and delivered 1,000 pounds of oranges and 100 pounds of broccoli and 100 pounds of kale, and it was a lot of produce, but it's great to like go and see where this food is going, and then to think that it's gonna end up in these like school lunches is pretty amazing as well, and that we have the opportunity to interact with the community on that scale is really exciting and fulfilling for me, and why I so enjoy doing this.
100 pounds of kale is a lot of kale.
It's a lot of kale.
It's so
Just
much
so you
kale.
guys know.
It was like a 2-day harvest.
And pack job.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It's really inspiring to see fellow students, or in this case older students coming from me, who I'm a sophomore, talk about how they're super involved, not necessarily just in our school, but also in the community, delivering things to the kids in Paso and everything. And you said that you guys do a little bit of all of it, and so I was wondering if you want to maybe shout out the social media or talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find us on Instagram at Grimm Organic Center with 2 M's in Grimm, and then LinkedIn. If you look up Grimm Organic Center, it should pop up. If not, the full name, Grimm Family Center for Organic Production and Research, and it'll definitely come up. And then the podcasts go out on Spotify and YouTube and every podcast app that's out there. So we do have a YouTube as well, but that's just, so far it just has podcast episodes on it. And I think that's it for right now, but we're looking into expanding more. And then our website is just organic.calpoly.edu, and that one has we have a news page where we post about grants and projects and things like that, which is really cool. So yeah, we're all over.
There's also the Instagram. I don't know if you talked about that, but if you go to the Cal Poly Farm Instagram, we have our announcements about U-Picks and ways that you can come and visit the farm and get involved and genuinely come and experience it for yourself.
Yeah. So. And that one's just Cal Poly Farm.
Very nice. Yeah. So now we're going to take a quick break from talking about the Organic Center and introduce some of our Man on the Street videos that were created by our fellow Cal Poly students.
Awesome. Nice.
Good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Should we change anything? So you need to.
Yeah, towards you.
Here, wait. Yeah, I can also maybe tilt it more. Does that help? Does that help? It sounds loud in my ears, which is why
Your
I think
monitor
good
might
to
be
me.
high.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Ben. I'm gonna have to rib him a little bit next time I see him. Better say good things, Ben.
Well, he always has good things to
I'll
say.
see you at the next management meeting. Oh, that was my notebook.
I think that's better. Yeah.
It's a shock.
Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed those Man on the Street videos. So to get back to talking, what are some projects that you guys are working on the center? What projects are you working on at the center? And can you tell us what's being produced and kind of a little bit about that?
Well, I can start to talk about the center. So we have a variety of projects. I talked a little bit about our really big kind of ambitious experiment that we're running. But in addition to that, with Dr. Charlotte DeCock, we've got a number of projects with students looking at soil fertility and organic fertilizer dynamics. So sort of like the rate at which nutrients become available out of those fertilizers. There's a lot of questions around that our industry partners want to know. So actually, I just found out that we had a slew of students win some prizes at the Plant and Soil Conference this week. It'll be a little while before this podcast comes out, but some of the research we've been doing with students is getting recognized. I think I also mentioned pest management efficacy work. Yeah. So there's a lot of questions. So there's a common misconception that organic production involves no pesticides in the very broad sense, and while that's kind of gets at a truth, it's not exactly true. For managing insects and disease pests, we do use pesticides, but they tend to be biologically based. So they're plant extracts, they might be living bacteria or viruses or fungi that manage the things we're trying to keep out of our crops. But there's a lot of gaps in our knowledge of how well they work and how best to apply them. So that's an area that we're really upregulating is where working with our industry partners to kind of figure out, okay, which of these products work, how well do they work, how might you best apply them. So that's research that we have going. On the social outreach side, this podcast series is really important. Another aspect of a related project is an important resource for farmers, whether organic or conventional, are professionals who are called certified crop advisors. And so it's kind of like being a board certified educator. A board certified engineer or a teacher. You take classes in agronomy or crop production, and then you take another exam to show that, hey, I can actually advise people on how to grow crops. So we're working with the American Society of Agronomy to develop a specific add-on training module for organic agriculture. So CCAs, or certified crop advisors, who have their base certification can basically do online coursework and develop a certificate for organic ag. And that's something our industry partners are really excited about, because we need more folks with organic knowledge so we can grow the industry. What am I leaving out? We've got some educational projects as well. There's a seminar course that I co-teach with a roster of different faculty every spring, where we bring in professionals from the California organic industry to interact with our students, kind of give them an idea of how they got to where they're at in the industry, what they see as big opportunities in the industry. And I'm sure I'm leaving some projects out. It seems like every day there's a new one. But these communication projects have been a lot of fun, and these are really done in collaboration with Dr. Moses Mike, who's kind of our digital media mastermind, I guess.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah, so since it's winter right now, we were just curious, what produce are you growing right now? Do you grow the majority in greenhouses, or you guys mentioned it was under construction, but just what you're growing right now?
We really only use the greenhouses when we're like seeding trays to transplant.
Yeah,
we don't
it's
have
not
anything
like a big
Oh, yeah.
greenhouse at all.
No, it's very small.
Very small.
It's smaller than this room. So we do primarily transplants or direct seeding, and the transplants we source from outside of the school. We're currently not transplanting any of our own.
Yeah. We mostly work in collaboration with Plantel, who's been a major contributor to the farm for even before the Grimm Organic Center existed. And then kind of our new partner is the Greenheart Farms down in Santa Maria type area. But yeah, they provide our transplants, which is very kind of them.
So we have right now a lot of direct seed things. So we have carrots, beets, radishes, cilantro, some green onions. I know there's more coming up in the next couple weeks. We'll have some more. I smell like cilantro right now, actually.
Parsley.
We have parsley.
And then lots of like cabbage and brassicas, so cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kind of those cold crops that can grow in the winter around here, which is pretty great. We love having stuff year round, which is part of like why it's so fun to grow in California and slow in particular because of the microclimate that allows us to grow a lot of stuff all year round. So it's never empty at the markets.
Never ever.
What's your guys' favorite thing to grow? Or like what personal favorite, or just like personal favorite thing to eat or anything?
Mine is definitely the cilantro. It depends. Like sometimes it gets a little tiring smelling like cilantro for days on end, but I'm not tired of it yet, and I'm really enjoying it right now. So yeah, it's also fun to bunch and harvest. I think that I just like making bunches. It's like floral arrangements almost.
Yeah, true.
It's really
It's like satisfying.
It's very satisfying.
I like the carrots when it's easy to pull them out of the ground, which I know Mary would agree with. Great. That's a surprise to me.
They're
but
really hard.
they're difficult, but they're fun to just munch on in the field.
That's
sometimes.
They make a better cilantro.
Yeah, we have kind of a challenging soil for carrots and other root crops because we're pretty heavy clay. Like a lot of the big carrot producing regions are a sandy loam. Mm-hmm. It's just softer soil. You can just kind of pull the root out of the ground. Whereas here, if it's dry, good luck.
It's difficult. Well, we used to more frequently, we had these compost beds that were about like 6 inches thick of just compost that we made in one of the blocks in the organic field. And that made it a lot easier to grow and pick carrots. But
that's a project that the weeds class works on usually. So we don't have any right now, or maybe we did. We just finished out, I think, the last one. But hopefully we'll get some more of those back in. I love having the compost beds.
Yeah, they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys really enjoy working there. What would you say your favorite part about working there is?
I think I've been there for quite some time now, so I feel like you would think that I don't learn new things very often, but I learn new things all the time. And my favorite is to learning new tractor implements, like how to use them. That's so fun for me. I feel like it's like not only enjoyable, but it's mentally challenging, and I really like that.
Yeah, my favorite part is just growing things. Like, I'm a very visual person, so I think that when I get satisfaction from my work when there is something that has actually been created at the end of it. So being able to be a part of the process from start to finish is very satisfying and gratifying. And then on top of that, I love everybody that I work with, and honestly, having such a close community of people that are just down to work hard, like, every day. It's not glamorous work by any means, just being in the trenches all the time. But we have a lot of fun with it, and everybody is so willing to share information and help each other when they need it. It's a great place to be, in my opinion. That's what brought me here, honestly, was seeing Mary, because I was in the enterprise class where we just go and volunteer, and then I was working with Mary and some other people, and I was like, I really like you guys. Can I come work with you? And they hired me, so.
That's how I got involved as well. I wasn't in the enterprise, but I knew someone who worked here, and they loved it, and they spoke so highly of it. And I grew up in agriculture, so I really wanted to get my hands dirty some more. And yeah, it was just the people really draw you in. They're really great people here.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, first and foremost, it's the students. I know, Moe, you've graduated, but students like Moe and Mary who really just show up. They're here to get things done, to learn, ask the difficult questions, and really engage. And that's just been a wonderful thing to be a part of, and hopefully to help expand here. But then also the colleagues. So for me, it's the people. I will echo, I think Moe was saying. I mean, one of the fantastic aspects of this part of California in particular is we can grow vegetables year round. I mean, there is a vegetable you can grow 365 days of the year. And, if you come from more of a temperate climate like the Northwest or the Northeast, that's just not the case. I mean, there's this winter thing that sets in for
we don't have that here.
6 months, and it's frozen. Yeah. And not much is growing out there. There is greenhouse production, obviously. But yeah, that's been wonderful. But by and large, the students. And one thing I wanted to add to that is when the students were reflecting on sort of the changes they've seen as the center has kind of developed and been integrating with the farm, everything we've done is really based on the foundation that they provided. I mean, I really can't express my gratitude enough for the students who really kept the farm going. I know Kelly, our farm manager, he was kind of student trained. I mean, he arrived and it was sort of like, okay, I got to figure it out. Hey, where are the tractors? What key opens that lock? And why are we making beds like this? And so really, I think everything, success follows success, and the success we're seeing now is really built on the hard work and labor and love and attention that the students like Moe and Mary have put into the process. I'm gushing a little. I'll stop.
We can really feel the love from all of you guys. Kind of switching gears, we just were wondering, what value do you think that our agricultural communications department here at Cal Poly brings to the Grimm Organic Center, and how that kind of affects? I know you said you're working in the social media as well, and you've worked on the podcast before, so.
I've been talking too much. I think, Mary, you should start, because you're an AgCom student even, so.
I think that it's really important to share what we've worked on at the Organic Center and at the farm, so that it doesn't have just the benefit of the people who are directly involved, but it benefits people who can see what we do and can learn from it, and then it just it keeps it going. So everyone is gaining something from it, not just us. It's kind of selfish to keep it to ourselves, so we share it.
Just to add on to that, being somebody who goes to markets and does deliveries and stuff, it makes it a lot easier, I must say, to kind of have something to stand on and say this is where we're coming from, and be able to direct them somewhere if they have questions. We now have this resource that they can look to if they want to know more, if they want to get involved, if they're interested. So it's been really nice having like very consistent, also a consistent image, which is all due to Mary and her overtaking the social media aspect. She's been doing a phenomenal job. But yeah, it's been great to just be able to direct them towards our Instagram or tell them about a podcast and they can go learn about this stuff. And yeah, I've been loving that.
So for me, I've over the course of my career, I've been an agricultural research extension education professional for about 30 years now, and I've worked at a number of universities. And for me, the Ag Comms department was kind of the hidden gem of Cal Poly I didn't know about when I took this job. So I knew there was a really well-functioning ag engineering program, which is something that not a lot of universities have at this point, and was really excited to work with the ag engineers. And then obviously the more traditional sort of, plant sciences stuff. But the Ag Comms department here has just been such a, getting to know the faculty and then getting to know the students has just been wonderful. And for me, I mean, one thing I've really come to in my 30-year history is I've really come to recognize in the last decade that, if we are going to move our food system into a more sustainable pathway, we can't do it on the farm alone. We have to reach across, I like to call it reaching across the cash register. We have to get consumers engaged. And, people like myself we're really in the post-war period, so post-World War II, in ag extension research, we've done a great job of delaboring agriculture. I mean, we exist in a time where really there are somewhere between 3 and 6 million people who pretty much grow all the food in this country. And that includes farm labor. So not just the farmers, but the migratory farm labor and everything else. But we have a population of, around 350 million. And so this very small percentage of the population is feeding the rest of the population, and the rest of the population is benefiting from that, but they've also, I think there's been a detriment there. They're disconnected from this basic sort of intimate, natural experience of engaging with what you eat. And so Ag Comms, to me, is incredibly important, and this department is incredibly important because we have to bridge that gap. We have to get consumers thinking about ag. We need ag literacy because it touches all of us, whether we recognize it or not. Our daily bread it comes from agriculture. I mean, another sort of little saying is, we're 6 missed meals from anarchy. People can't feed their kids for 6 meals in a row, and political systems fall apart. So it's really important that we're able to tell these stories, and we do a better job telling these stories. And a department like the Ag Comms at Cal Poly is just, I think, one of the ways we're going to get it done.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but that's definitely why I wanted to be in Ag Comms. I think it's so important just to let consumers, everyone know, and just be educated about not only organic agriculture, but agriculture in general.
Totally. I come from not an ag background, so it's been super, super interesting to learn about the agricultural industry through my classes and just doing opportunities like this with people like you guys.
Yeah, so I just wanted to thank all of the panelists today, and that's all the time we have today, but make sure you go follow the Grimm Organic Instagram, and if you're interested in working there or anything, you can talk to these nice people right here. And thank you for joining us today on the Organic Odyssey podcast. Hope to see you all soon.
Program funding for the Organic Odyssey was provided by the California Certified Organic Farmers Foundation, as well as the Transition to Organic Partnership Program. The show was created by Matt Grieshop, the talent coordinator and resident organic expert, as well as Moses Mike, the faculty production lead. Guests for today's episode included Moe Lee and Mary Nascimento. The Organic Odyssey is a production of the AGC 225 class called Digital Communications in Agriculture. The student team that produced the show included Andrew Angulo, the director, hosts Amanda Kidd and Emery Pura, and the technical team, Bailey Knirk, Daniela Rodriguez-Ruiz, Delaney Browder, Katie Cook, and Sierra Fugman. The Organic Odyssey is a digital media collaboration between the Agricultural Education and Communications Department and the Grimm Family Center for Organic Production and Research at Cal Poly. These credits were read by Chelsea Ann. Thanks for listening.